All right, welcome to this AFC South Show 196. We are 1 week out from the draft. Today we'll go over just latest news for all of our teams, and then kind of go over some players that we want to see after the first round. We've talked about the first round enough, I feel like. So, but first, I want to introduce Isaiah from Third and Two. What we got going on, Isaiah? How you doing? Just got married?
Yeah, just got married.
Ooh,
Got the hounds in here tonight. Yeah, we
congrats.
just thank you. Been a
Came up
long time
to
coming.
came up to Tennessee for the
Yeah,
man. Came to
yeah,
God's country,
yeah.
baby.
I was up in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, having a good time.
It is
Spent
fun.
way too much money on moonshine for somebody who barely drinks. And
Oh shit.
we had a good time, man. Dollywood was fun. We did all the things. It was a good time.
Heck yeah. We got Mike down here filling in for Curtis. What you got going
How
on
we
down
doing?
there, Mike?
Nothing much. Great. Just enjoying the beautiful weather. It was a beautiful day. Good Friday, leading into
Yep.
these Easter holidays. I didn't do much of anything. Just was happy to know that this draft is around the corner. We can hear him get this shit over with. Let's just be honest. Let's just get it
So
over with.
so we're all just ready at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
it's this fun season, but then you get to those last 2 weeks and it's really just boring. Boring. I don't know.
Yes.
Do y'all have anything going on with the teams? Anything really big happened in the last few days for you boys?
Little bit of Nick Casario and Lion season. That's all it really is.
It's all
We
Lions
lying.
season, yeah. No, you
You
can't
can't trust
believe
shit.
anything. The only thing, probably the most sure thing, is that Cam Ward is going number one. That might be the only thing that's for sure at this point.
Yeah. Bro, man, I hope y'all don't throw a monkey in that wrench. If that right there would have me sit down for the rest of the draft. It's like,
We are going to be Titans Table for Two. We're going to be live at a restaurant in Nashville, and
okay.
we got like a little deal going with the restaurant out here. And I'm not sure if that were to happen, like if like Shador's name or Abdul's name popped up. I'm not sure how it like. I might be froze, and I'd just be dead silence on air for a minute if that happened.
No, you're definitely gonna have that what the fuck face. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
That
done.
was a
I'm done.
surprise,
No.
it's just like that, and we're done with the stream. I'll see you. Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's crazy because I do think the Titans made their biggest move of the offseason this week. We released Nicholas Petit-Frere from our team. That horrible right tackle, that turnstile that played right tackle for us last year.
He's gonna go be elite somewhere.
I
He's gonna
could
go
have put.
somewhere and he's
Oh,
gonna be
dude, the
great.
Titans way, baby, the Titans way.
Bro,
But
no.
last year, I could have put one of those
Just
barrels,
a
that
second.
orange and white barrels, on the interstate, and it would have done better than Nicholas Petit-Frere.
Bro, can you
Just have the right guard
all I
smack
need
it
to say.
whenever they call Hut and it rolls back, and that would have done better than he did. So I still think that's the biggest move of the offseason so far.
As long as he doesn't go to the Eagles.
And then he'll be great. He'll have a Mekhi Becton turn around. So
I'm telling you, that's Kenyon Green. I see it coming.
Yeah. It's crazy how that happens sometimes. Leave here and all of a sudden you're an elite player.
Yeah.
But I mean, the big news for us is this. I don't know if you were able to check any of it out. Was Cam Ward's Fortnite streams over the last couple?
Yes,
Just like feeding into the Titans stuff like that. They asked him who is his top 5 receivers in the league. He said Calvin Ridley. Then he said top 4. He said Calvin Ridley, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Traylon Burks. I'm sitting here like, I don't know if Traylon Burks top 4 on our team, dog. But you gotta love it. He said his favorite coach was Brian Callahan.
He's not in the top 15 in the AFC South.
No. He said favorite coach was Brian Callahan. The best running backs in the league were Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. Like he was just feeding into all the Titan stuff.
Bro, you have kissed like he could have. My son told me that's how bad it was. My son told me, he's like, Dad, why is he lying?
He was.
Yeah.
But it was all over Twitter and stuff like that. It was hilarious. You gotta love it.
I thought it was fake I thought it was fake when I first read it, and then I heard it myself, and I was like, they got to him already.
Hey, gotta love. Be a good teammate. But has there been anything going on down there the last couple of weeks? Or just lying?
Nah, like a little bit of lying. Jalen Petrie getting his money, his well-earned money.
He earned it. He's a beast.
He did. Like I said, man, if you've ever seen Jalen Petrie in person and they tell you he's a professional football player, he's another one like Tank Dell. You're gonna say you need to stop lying.
Yeah.
He can't be, because that guy's like 5'10", 190, which is, I guess, is fairly big, but he hits like he's 250.
Yeah. Plays with a little
Like,
tenacity.
Yeah, he's got a little nasty to him. I'm happy to see that Nick Caserio, yes, it feels like he's throwing money out like it's printed on my printer.
Yeah.
But at least he's throwing it to homegrown talent.
Homegrown talent. I was just about to say that. Like, you'd rather it be, because you're going to overpay in free agency, and that's just the nature of the big. People were talking about the Dan Moore contract we gave out, and yeah, I mean, it was an overpay, but that's to get the best left tackle in free agency, you're going to overpay, and it was it's a huge problem we needed fixed. So
there were rumors going around that we were going to trade Jalen Petrie. We were going to trade him and draft somebody else. I was like, so we're going to trade him for a second-round pick and draft his replacement with that second-round pick.
That guy could be as good as Jalen Petrie. That's the thought. Like, but what if he's not? We got Justin in the chat. Couldn't join us today because he got some family stuff going on this Easter weekend. But hey, who really wants a Colts fan here anyway?
Oh. God damn. Yeah.
Sorry, Justin. I had to do it to you.
But I know he is so excited to watch that Daniel Jones and what's his face?
Yeah.
Quarterback battle in this offseason.
Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, and go get Quinn Ewers in like the 4th round. Let's see what they do here.
No,
they're going to have to draft a quarterback too, right? Like, even if it's later.
I don't think they will.
Really?
Because one of these quarterbacks.
We'll trade you a slightly used Will Levis.
Bro, hey, you do know, I think it would come back to bite you in the ass. If
I know, but he'd play one game next year, and it would be against the Titans, and he'd win.
Bro, their head coach, I think he could fix a competent quarterback. Like Anthony Richardson, as much as I hate to say it, he's stupid.
Yeah,
he's stupid. I think that's the problem. Because he actually said out loud, I pulled myself out the game because I got tired. I was
I ain't never seen a quarterback do that, dude. Yeah,
I've never heard a quarterback say that.
Yeah.
Like you said, he
was, like I said, we've talked about it, but like, he's just a quarterback that was drafted off like traits. Like, there was nothing there like on film to say, hey, let's go get this guy. You know what I mean? He played 9 games. That's not enough.
When they started describing him as saying he was Cam Newton, like, I was like,
what? Just because he can run? Like, he's big and he can run.
Yeah, there's a guy that played at U of H that was like that. This guy named Donovan Smith, who's also going to be in the draft this year. That's why I say I don't see them drafting a quarterback, because there's going to be a bunch of quarterbacks that don't get drafted this year. So don't draft one. Just
go get an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, you drafted Anthony Richardson.
Just suck again. Maybe you'll get out there and get another Manning if he comes out.
I think
that would be a Colts fan wet dream to get Arch.
I think it's a one and done.
We got Titans fans in the chat, brother. Where the Texans fan? Tighten up.
Hey, we got to get him in. We got to get him in the chat.
Yeah.
Problem is like I tell you, the weather's good and the alcohol's great in Houston right now.
Yeah, the weather was great here today too. I was like, man, good little Easter weekend. I'm gonna be cooking up some meat tomorrow. I'm gonna be smoking like a pork butt and some ribs tomorrow too. We're gonna have a good time this weekend.
That's very Easter-like food. I love it.
Hey man, well, I as soon as it starts getting warm, I take advantage of getting out there to use that grill and that smoker again. You sit off and don't do it for months. I feel like the Colts were trying to recreate Jalen Hurts by drafting Richardson. Yeah, definitely Jalen Hurts a little bit like you said, Cam Newton. It was all traits. He had that amazing combine, and he's just a big dude. He's an athletic freak, but playing quarterback is so much up here in the NFL.
I said this and people thought I was crazy. I was like, Anthony Richardson reminds me of Tim Tebow.
Oof. Without all the playing time.
Without all the playing time, but if you see Tim Tebow is a fucking statue. Mm-hmm. He is muscular, tall, and he was actually fairly fast. Not as fast as the
Yeah, he's not Anthony, but I mean,
but
that's an anomaly at quarterback.
Bro, he ran a faster
Maybe
time
he'll
than
turn it
all the
around.
running backs in the practice.
I just don't see it. I think he's too far deep to turn it around.
Okay. I'm going to say this. The first quarterback to hit a receiver in the hands will be the starter.
In training camp, the first quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we all remember those Daniel Jones clips from training camp last year who just throwing it in the dirt at the receiver's feet.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's why I said if y'all trade Will Levis to him, you might regret it. Because Will Levis will hit a
he
receiver.
might be the better best quarterback on the roster if he goes up there.
He would be. If we're being honest, he would be.
At least Daniel Jones, I mean, he had one good season. He's proven he can do something in the league. Should he have gotten paid all that money for it? No. Should they have paid him over Saquon? No. But he did have a good season. I'll give him that.
Just like we're going to watch Seattle and Sam Darnold.
I think he's going to fall apart. I don't know if he'll be as bad as Jets Sam Darnold because I think his confidence is up right now, but he's not going to be what he was last year. That's why I didn't want to pay him.
That's why I say San Francisco Sam Darnold is what I see.
Yeah, a little bit better, but not quite. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be throwing to Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, like Hawkinson.
Bro, who is he throwing to in Seattle?
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't even a potential, though. I mean, I guess in the sense potential, but it's traits to try to build potential. I'm sorry. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if necessarily potential, but that's traits kind of equals potential. But like to me, is like Will Levis was potential because he has the actual tools of a quarterback. You know what I mean? He has the arm.
Yeah.
You know, it's all up here. Richardson, like the arm's not there. You know what I mean? Like he could throw it a mile, but it's not accurate at all. I'm not saying Levis is better because I think Levis played like crap last year. He's probably quarterback 32 out of 32. But there was.
I will tell you this.
He had more time in college to show that he had potential. Like his junior year was amazing. Then he just kind of fell off a little bit his senior year.
The thing I would say, Will Levis, Will Levis is better than Anthony Richardson. It's just,
and we're going quarterback, so
doesn't have better traits, but he is better than Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think both their problems is between the ears, though, because I mean, there's so much like pre-snap reading and stuff like that you have to do before. Like it's not just when you're playing the best of the best. You're taking 200 if you count all the D2 schools and stuff like that teams, and putting them into 32 teams. You're getting the best of the best now. So that just going off your athletic ability is not enough.
And what I think about this, I think with Will Levis, I think he just trusts his arm too much. Mm-hmm. He thinks I can throw this guy open.
Yeah.
Whereas Anthony Richardson thinks I can throw somewhere and my guy will go get it. I was like,
yeah, absolutely. Isaiah, welcome back. We missed you.
Somebody had to.
God dang.
Bro, you're newly married. Is that moonshine?
Sour gummy worm.
Oh, he got all the flavors. Before we got on, he was starting the sour watermelon. He got all the flavors over there.
Looks like I never had
it. Might have to make a trip to Tennessee.
Yeah, guys. It's Junction 35. Man, we spent like $600 on moonshine, because they had all the deals, man. They had all the deals, man.
They had that girl math where it was like it's on sale, so it's like saving money.
No, man, because like you go in and they get you is with the tastings. They're like, oh yeah, come in.
They'll let you taste it if you want to, dude.
Dude, I went in there and it was like the tasting was free, and then you just tip if you want to. For the Smiths Creek. So I go into Smiths Creek, I do that, not sponsored. And we go in there, I do that, I do the show. They're like, they got 12 in the list. Like, hey, we're gonna let you try all these.
That's true. And we lost them.
Damn. That moonshine's a bitch.
Yeah, moonshine not only knocked him out, it knocked his internet out too. The moonshine got your internet drunk too.
Yeah, moonshine blind. So we go in there, we do it. And like they're like, yeah, here you go. Just put your hand over it if you don't want it. And these ladies, like, took like 2 shots, and they had like a buttercream. And this lady's like, "You can keep your buttercream." I was like, and then she goes, "Y'all aren't Shine Girls, are you?" And they're like, "No." And then we're just in there, boop, 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 knocking them back. And they give you these tiny sipping cups.
That's what they're talking about. They do enough of those though. You get a little buzz and like,
oh yeah, no.
Now we got some deals for you.
So it's funny though. And then like
That's
they were like,
they do tequila in Mexico.
Yeah, dude. They were like, "Yeah, we got buy 3 get 1 free." And so like we did. So we had one we wanted to get for like us and her parents. So we ended up. I was like, we might as well just go ahead and get 6 and get 2 free, whatever. Get 8 total. Then we went to Old Smokies, and they're like, "Yeah, if you buy 12, you pay the price of 10. You get this free rolling cooler, and you get 12 shooters that are also moonshine in like these little tiny
Who
shot
doesn't
glasses."
need another cooler?
I mean, these are shot glasses. It's like they're actually tiny mason jars, and they come full. And I was like, "Fuck it,
on
let's go."
Atlanta. I
They
think
suck.
Atlanta is. I think they're gonna have to go defensive pass rusher. I mean, the Matthew Judon experiment failed. They got some decent weapons over there. I mean, you got
where does Atlanta pick?
At some, they're like teens.
No,
like 12, 13.
Like,
they'll take a safety. There's a good chance they take a safety.
No,
you think so? Safety? No. Jalen.
Why not?
I'm going to tell you this. Why does everybody keep forgetting Atlanta has no pass rush?
That's what I just said. I didn't forget it. I just said it.
They got no safeties either.
No, but they have no pass rush. They haven't had one for years. They keep drafting and trading for guys, and it has not worked.
Who are they going to take that late, though? Mike Green?
What pick are they at?
Shamar Stewart?
Was I wrong on their pick? That's in the teens. Is that right? Yeah, 15. Yeah.
I mean,
Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, Jalen Walker probably doesn't fall that far.
I mean, Princely Unamalian, or however you say his name, might be there. Princely Chameleon.
He's not going in the first round, do you think?
No, he might be a late first. That's when you need to look at Kansas City. Yeah.
But I definitely think pass rush is where they're going to go, for sure.
Yeah. Maybe they find a DT that pass rush. Shit. What's his name? If Jacksonville doesn't get him, what's that big fat guy's name? Yeah.
Mason Graham.
Mason Graham.
Yeah.
I hope we.
If he doesn't go 5, he's not falling to 15. I wouldn't think. You look at Mikael Williams from Georgia.
There's options. There's a lot of options for pass rushers.
And Shamar Stewart is another one where it's just you're picking off of traits because he had 1.5 sacks last year.
Shamar Stewart is a slightly less athletic Trayvon Walker, but a little bit bigger.
So he thinks Mikael Williams from UGA. I mean, that's one of them. It's gonna. I would say if you're an Atlanta fan, you're probably a Georgia fan, so that might be a little biased there. But
I can see it. I can see Mikael.
Colts took him based on his athleticism.
I like
22-5 will be his defining year.
Justin. He's done.
His career is going to end this year. That's what you mean.
It's his defining year for him to go somewhere and be a gadget guy.
It'd be a Taysom Hill, right?
No, backup running back. The Colts could use one.
I mean, bro, but he
does get hurt a lot.
I mean, think about it though. He's 6'5", 255 pounds. Put him at tight end. Let him be a Taysom Hill kind of guy. He can come in and throw and beat.
Honestly,
he can run the ball. He can catch the ball.
Taysom Hill won me a fantasy league one year, dude.
You do know that man had surgery to fix his eyes.
Who?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, so did James Winston.
So did James.
Yeah.
We saw that guy.
He still threw a bunch of picks last year.
Yeah, I would say that too if I was. Yeah, I got my eyes fixed. What was wrong with them? I
saw different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ballard should have been gone forever ago.
Yeah, Ballard
should have been handcuffed to a stop sign on the corner outside the stadium.
Jeff tried so hard for the first 2 years on the show to be like, "Oh, Ballard's smart with money. Ballard makes great picks." And now he's like, "Man, fuck Ballard. Get him out of here. I'm tired of him." Oh, I've been saying Ballard should have been gone years ago. I'm like, come on, Jeff. You can't jump ship now.
Yeah, we got recordings of this shit.
Yeah,
this is a library with all your opinions on it.
Hey, how they say, let me see the receipts on that one.
Yep.
It's there. It exists.
Yeah, I know. One thing, and something that kind of made me think a little bit more about, and I know I've been gone, so I don't really know what all y'all been talking about, but I'm sure we're talking about draft stuffs at least. So about the Genty thing going to Jacksonville. A big thing about that I think that I wasn't thinking about like prior to yesterday in that conversation.
Yeah,
is that
pass rush would definitely be sorry. Just responding to the
No,
comment.
you're good.
It would definitely be there around 2. It's a deep pass rush class.
ETN's on his 5th year. He's on his 5th year option right now. He's on his 5th year. This will be Bigsby's 3rd season. So he's only got one more year after this. And after that, we have, like we got Keelan Robinson, but we drafted him to return kicks in the last year, like the last regime drafted him. We didn't draft him to be some sort of superstar. I like Tank Bigsby, don't get me wrong. But like, if you're really thinking about it, this regime has showed us one thing, and I'll let you right after this. Well, this regime has showed us one thing, because yesterday someone was like, but ETN and Trevor are tight. If this regime has showed us anything, they don't give a fuck who's friends with Trevor, because they got rid of Kirk, they got rid of Evan Ingram. They really don't care who's friends. They want the best football team possible, and they want to save money and spend it elsewhere. Now, like I said yesterday, do I think that Genty is the best pick for us? Do I think we have positions way more of need? Absolutely. But I do think that running back is not as big of a need as people are talking about, because they're just assuming that we're going to keep ETN or keep Bigsby. But this is a whole new regime. But go ahead.
I'm not even going to get into this. This draft is loaded with running backs. There's
only one Genty.
Yeah, there is only one Genty, but the thing is,
it's just like it's loaded with edge, but there's still only one Abdul Carter.
Correct. But the thing is, if that's not your biggest weakness, it looks stupid.
But do you think anybody's willing to trade up to 5 though?
No.
Because the big thing is, I don't think 5 with how like you were about to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like with how this draft is, and the fact that Shedeur Sanders might be in the 20s now, or like high teens, because if he falls past, if he falls past the Giants, if he falls, he's going to the Steelers or someone else. Like he's not going high. My thing is on that is like, who's going to trade up to 5 with us? I mean, we might as well just take. We're either going to take who we want or whoever the best available player is. Like if somehow Abdul Carter falls or somebody like that, like it's not going to happen. But like if that were to happen, like absolutely. But like, I mean, I don't like taking Genty that high. If we could trade, I would love to, but I just don't think anybody trades up. And I think especially if it falls where, Ward, Carter, Graham, like those guys are all off the board, I think you just go ahead and take them and take because I think it's also a good line class for interior. And I think our interior is weaker than our tackles currently. Yet to be seen, but because we got some new guys, but I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like there are a lot of running backs, but there's a lot of linemen every year, and there's not a lot of Genties every year.
Here's where I think the potential trade could come in, because the Raiders have still talked about Shedeur Sanders. Now, I know they got Geno, but Geno's not a long-term option. The way you could see that you could possibly trade back is the Saints going from 9 to 5 to jump the Raiders.
To take who?
To take Shedeur before he goes to the Raiders. That's your best option, honestly. Or the Steelers coming all the way up, and that'd be a heck of a lot of draft capital. But I don't see that happening because they're not a team that does that. But I can see the Saints jumping up.
Do you think the Saints go for Shedeur?
I think Derek Carr just hurt his shoulder. He's out for the season. So, do you really want to go the whole season with Spencer Rattler again?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
As much as you hate Shedeur, I know Shedeur is better than Spencer Rattler.
Oh, absolutely. But I would if I'm them though. No, go ahead. You were going, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say Kellen Moore and Shedeur Sanders. I'm actually a little afraid of that combination.
That's a good combination.
I think Kellen Moore can turn him. Mm-hmm. It's nasty.
The offensive coach
really nasty.
More plays would go really well together.
Honestly, if I'm them though,
the potential for you, if he drops past the Giants, he's obviously not going to New England. If the Saints are like, we need this next quarterback,
I know he wants to win now. Don't get me wrong. I know Kellen Moore wants to win now. I know the organization wants him to win now. But if it's me, and again, no one's doing this, the GM, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. They're probably not going to let him do this. If it's me, I'm trading back from 9 if I can. I'm not taking a quarterback. Even though Carr is hurt, I'm not taking a quarterback. I'm trying to find somebody, a veteran, to fill in because I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback. I don't. I do not think he's going to come into a team and lead them anywhere besides.
But for you, all you need is the Saints to think that, so you can get more draft picks.
But also, though, if you think about it, are the Saints in a position to because they keep paying all these people, but they're going to be $72 million negative in cap again next year.
So that actually it makes more sense to go get the quarterback to be cheap on the next 5 years.
Well, I'm saying wait another year. Dump more cap, and then get an actually good quarterback next year in a better quarterback class.
The Saints will be in cap hell till my son is in college.
Yeah, but at least get
that's how he's 15.
They'll be in cap hell till my son's in college. He's 2.
God damn. That's my point. It makes sense to go ahead and get the quarterback because at this point you're stuck with Derek Carr's contract. You've already restructured it as best you can. He's gone next year.
Yeah,
his shoulder's done.
Yeah,
what you gonna do? Trade for Kirk Cousins, whose contract is disgusting as well.
I mean, they might as well
do it.
We thought they couldn't sign anybody. They signed like 20 people. They signed like 20. Technically, they can as long as they get under by next year. Because you can be as negative as you want to be, as long as you get there by the start of the new league year, in which they've done somehow every single year at negative 70 million.
That's why they stay in hell. Because they just keep pushing it down the road. Yeah. It all started with the Drew Brees contract.
Yes, sir.
Trying to win, which I get it. Win now. I'd go to salary cap hell if I had won the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they didn't win it, but. I mean, that's what it is.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
The rookie quarterback makes sense.
Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta. I mean, it all depends on the price for me. But, I mean, you team him up with A.J. Terrell. That's a good little duo for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty. But the thing is, how much more does Jalen Ramsey really have as a top cornerback?
I mean,
he still played really well last year.
I think if we trade a third or a fourth for him, you're not upset with another 2 years or so.
What's the money too? I don't know what I know he's one of the higher paid corners.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
If you still played well last year,
they can come in and restructure, or the Miami Dolphins may take some of that. I mean, my thing is, if you can get a year or two out of him, and you think you're a contender now, and you can get him for a third or a fourth round pick.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
I do.
Is Atlanta that contender? I mean, you don't even know what you really have.
I think Atlanta
needs a pass rush.
I think Atlanta is closer and farther away than I think, than everybody thinks. Like they're closer on some fronts, but they're farther on other fronts. I don't know that quarterback is a concern for me.
Yeah, you don't really know what you have. I mean, he played a couple games.
I like Michael Penix.
Bright spots.
I know. I think Michael Penix can be great. I just need to see more of him. How they scheme him up for a lefty quarterback better. I do think that they need to, if they took like a Shamar Stewart round 1 as an edge rusher, and then like a Xavier Watts round 2.
Watts is nasty, but
I'd like to see that.
They had Jesse Bates, right, and Jordan.
Yeah,
Fuller.
They have Bates. Bates is good.
Fuller's okay.
Fuller's okay, but I mean, who else?
Yeah, then you've got Terrell. Then you got Ramsey. That's a good secondary.
And not to mention Fuller's. I mean, isn't Fuller pretty old at this point?
He's got to be early 30s.
He's got to be early 30s. I mean, you get Xavier Watts from Notre Dame, who's a solid tackler. He's a solid rangy corner. He's a little small. 27. No, it's not as old as I thought. But still, I mean, you get a guy that can come in and rotate and contribute. You get the big edge rusher. That's I mean, he's more of a
so if you do that, all that goes into is Shamar Stewart boom or bust, because I think he had all the people in the draft, he's probably the most boom or bust in those definitive first round prospects, just because it's all traits. Like, there's no production there.
But when I look at Mike Green,
a Jason Pierre-Paul that ended up booming because he got
Green.
I like Mike Green.
I think Mike Green could be this next this new Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack. I was going to say the same thing.
Guy from a small school.
Mm-hmm.
That even though he doesn't look the part all the time, because he looks like a tweener sometimes, but he's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say you get your guys. Let's go into the next topic. Say you get your guy in the first round. Is it Genty for you? Because I feel like it changes every week I talk to you.
And that's the problem is, who's going to be there? What's the consensus? What do I want? What have I been thinking about?
Right now, for this exercise, you get who you want right now.
Right. So right now, if I'm picking for the Jaguars, I get who I want. I'm taking Jack Bet. No, I'm kidding. No,
what the?
Jack Besh, is that his name? The dude on TCU or whatever. No, just random name.
Let's be realistic. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Howard. That's the first four.
Hold on, real quick. Sorry, real quick before we do that, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here a little bit more. Travis Hunter is trying to push himself down the board to a contender
by just being like, I'm playing both. I don't care what you say.
By saying I will retire if I don't get to play both. Because let me tell you something right now. He's not going to do that for one. And teams know that.
Yeah.
But let's say he did move out of, the top 10 somehow. Mm-hmm. And he goes to, I know he's not going to. No, I know he's not going to. But I'm saying, let's say teams fall for it and they're like, oh, he's going to retire and he goes to a Dolphins, or he goes to, a team that's kind of a fringe team, but now they think they can make the playoffs after this draft. He's going to do whatever the fuck they tell him to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to do whatever the fuck they tell, no matter who drafts him. He's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to retire.
Now, Warren will save Trevor's.
Now, if the Browns did it, okay, maybe I can see him doing it because the Browns, whatever. But
that's the one thing I can see doing it for sure.
But my thing is like, he's not going to not do it. But like, I think he's trying to push himself down the board. But I don't think it happens.
There's too much.
He's too talented, honestly. Like,
there's too much money tied into him being a top 5 pick.
My thing
there's so much endorsements and all this shit.
He's got plenty of endorsements though.
But he has so much money already. That's one thing he doesn't need. But like, I get that. But that's one thing he has over like everyone else in the draft besides Shadur. He doesn't need that money though. Because his contract, I think he's making like $9 million a season or whatever from Barstool or whoever he's with. Like he makes a lot of money just already. Mm-hmm. And like, so I don't think that would
with quality offensive line.
I don't think that would push. I don't think that would make him like, oh, I need to be. I know he wants to be, and he talks about how, oh, it's my dream to get drafted, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's going to do whatever the fuck they tell him to do. He's not going to hold out over that. That's so stupid that he would even say that. I think it's a last-ditch effort to try and go to a better team. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. But he's going to try and say it. Then he's going to get drafted. He's going to be like, thanks for drafting me. I'll do whatever you want.
The thing is, Deion is his surrogate father. He's going to play football.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the exercise. Those 4 guys go. Who's your pick?
So, if I'm picking today at number 5, I can't move. I'm going to go ahead and take Genty. I think I am.
That's it. That's we don't need to talk about that anymore. So you get Genty the first. What are you looking for rounds 2 through 7? 2 through 5. Because 6 and 7, I think, is all like that's when you take people based on traits. 6 and 7 and stuff like that.
So the hardest part for me on this is where does the board that I'm looking at have these guys ranked?
Who would you hope to fall?
No. So not even technically fall. Like I want there's a couple guys I would want there, but it depends on whose mock draft you're looking at. I would take a Tyler Booker there. Mm-hmm. I would take a what's the name? The Savia Ine, the dude from Arizona. The Samoan dude. Me and Eric have been saying it for months. We need a Samoan somewhere on offense, defense.
Every team needs at least one.
Every team needs one. We don't have one. We used to have Alu for years. We had Tyson for years, and then we didn't.
Them guys are built different, man.
We've severely been lacking. I would say one of those guys. I would probably lean towards Savia because I think he can play guard or tackle. I think Booker is more of a pure guard. That's probably
an offensive line, really.
Offensive line,
yeah. For me, it's receiver. I mean, we need edge too, but it's a lot deeper drafted edge. And I'm really hoping for the second round, especially Egbuka or Burden falls out of the first to get to us. I don't know. Burden's been dropping, dude.
Lose the Burden is an option, but
which is crazy to me because I think he's like the second best receiver, honestly.
Bro, all year long, we were talking about him as the best receiver in this coming draft, and now all of a sudden he's barely.
He would fall now. If you can't get one of those two, or like a James Pierce doesn't fall, I would love that's where because not having a third is really going to bite us this year. Trading back into the second and maybe picking up a Landon Jackson. I like Landon Jackson as an edge. High motor, dude. Really tall, rangy. He needs to learn how to not stand up as much. straight up, but rangy. If he can learn to get that bend and that, because his motor is insane, Landon Jackson. But then if I get him like a Kyle Williams or a Jalen Higgins, if I can't get one of those top 4 receivers, that's what I want to trade back, get a later second and a third, and get Kyle Williams. I mean, Kyle Williams is kind of like the pipe dream because of having the history at Washington State with Cam. But Jaden Higgins from Iowa State is cool with me. I like both of those guys because a little bit different than Ridley. Like for like scheme fit and stuff like that. I want somebody because Ridley's a great route runner, short, not short, but shorter, fast. I want to get like a tall possession, but maybe has some speed, take it over the top if they need to, But those are the top 2 needs for us outside of the quarterback. Once you get the quarterback, those 2, and I really for us getting 2 guys, 2 receivers and 2 edges is really important. So I mean, another guy who's been falling a lot. I've seen him drop all the way to the 5th is Jack Sawyer, which is crazy to me. I mean, not your prototypical edge, but once again, high motor, gonna go every single second he's on the field. He reminds me of Kyle Vandenbosch, the way he plays.
I thought third round at the worst for him.
Yeah, and I've just seen him mocks lately, like late 4th, 5th round. If he were to drop that far, I think he'd be a steal, even if he was just like a rotational pass rusher at that point. But yeah, getting him and getting like a Kyle Williams, a Jaden Higgins, Besh, honestly, in the 3rd or late 2nd, Jalen Noel, and then maybe like taking a chance on a guy, even getting like a Dante Thornton late, Isaiah Bond, he dropped from like late 1st, early 2nd to 4th round as well. I'd take a Bond, even though his athletic testing was horrible. I'm okay with getting a Restrepo late, like a 5th, 6th round on Restrepo, because I think his familiarity with Cam, and he's kind of like an Edelman, where he's very like he still has that route running, that shiftiness from the slot, could be really good for us. I mean, he wouldn't. I mean, not that he's a world beater, but Van Jefferson could teach a guy like that a lot too. I feel like he obviously doesn't have the speed Van does,
utilize his strength,
but Van's shifty, and that's what Restrepo is, shifty. He's obviously not fast running a 4.7, but I think the familiar. I would. What a big sneaky pick for me. If he were to drop to the 4th, I would snatch him up immediately. Is Harold Fannin, the tight end out of Bowling Green? That dude is a beast.
We doing 3rd round now, or
I'm just kind of going through all the rounds together for me. But like, what do you think?
For the prompt there, guy. What about you, Mike? Who would you take in the 2nd round? Since we're just, who would you take in every round for the next 5 years? We're just doing
no.
So just throwing shit out there.
I think
it's gonna stick.
Mike's who's your, if you got the way you wanted, you're picking the 1st round. Who is
the pick is in the
Zabel?
2027
talked about Zabel.
Jaguars draft.
Yeah, great. Zabel is my problem solver for the offensive line. Being a guy who's been successful at center, guard, and tackle. Fuck it. That's the whole plug. Where's our biggest
Bruce Matthew vibes, bro,
on the offensive line? Yeah, like I said, mean and to actually go in public with a mustache like that, you've got to be a badass offensive lineman. You've got to, bro. So all he needs is the police officer glasses, porn stash,
Super Troopers, brother.
Yeah.
The Snosberries tastes like Snosberries. Okay, so you get him in the 1st. Who are you looking for to drop in that 2nd and 3rd round to you?
I'm just like you. I'm hoping for one of these receivers. Kyle Williams, Luther Burden.
Burden's not falling past 35. I'll tell you that right now.
I actually think he might. They're really.
If he gets to 35 and we don't sprint to the podium and put that card in, I'm gonna be hot.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He won't make it past y'all. I don't foresee that. But Kyle Williams will be available.
Savion Williams from TCU. He's good.
I don't really like Savion. Savion makes me nervous.
About Ty Felton.
He makes me
from
so
Maryland.
goddamn.
I like
Ty Felton, but Ty Felton's 40 times should have been a little bit better than that. I expected better.
Well, there's a difference in 40 speed and football speed too.
And that's what I try to remind a lot of people is Tank Dell's fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember his 40 time at the combine? Yeah. Does that man look like he run a 4.5?
I don't know. He ran a 4.5?
No, he was a 4.5. Yeah, it was 4.51.
Maybe that's Restrepo too. He ran a 4.740 because he never looked that slow at Miami.
I mean, you got famous guys to run 4.5s. Odell Beckham Jr., Antonio Brown.
And Antonio Brown like fast crap on the field.
Shoot, Tyreek Hill ran like a 4.39, didn't he?
Like, and he's like the fastest guy on the football field.
No, that man.
Hill was above a 4.35. Yeah, no, Hill had a much slower 40 time than what he runs on the field. I'm pretty sure he ran like a 4.39.
That man was running an Olympic level track.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He ran a 4.3.
4.29.
4.29. Sorry.
Thank you.
He look like a 4.2. Yes, actually he does.
I mean, he looks like a 4.1. He looks like what Bo Jackson lied about.
Dude, people swear up and down he ran that 4.98. Sorry, not 4.98. And 4.01, 4.11, 4.19.
Yeah,
they swear up and down.
It changes every time. They saw it.
What do you think about Jaden Higgins? That's a good pick, I think.
That's my point. Jalen Noel, Jalen Higgins, Jalen Royal. Shit, it doesn't matter. We need a Jalen.
So anybody but Savion.
I'm not sold on Savion. Savion makes me nervous. If he's third round, maybe being that my Texans have 2 third-round picks.
So if you got him in the third, you're okay with that. But you think you want receiver in the second, 100%.
I definitely do want receiver.
I mean, Tank Dell, if he ever comes back, won't be this year. And
no, I don't.
Kirk, you're number 2. I don't love that.
No, I see Kirk as a number 2. I see Kirk as a number 2 by receptions only.
Okay.
Hit the amount of people think I'm crazy when I say this, but he's going to easily replace Stephon Diggs.
I mean, Diggs is only there for 7 games.
No, but the production that Stephon Diggs was going to lead up to, Stephon Diggs was going to have.
Because he was catching 6 catches a game for like 80 yards usually, around where Diggs was, right?
And that's my point. I can see Christian Kirk doing that plus more. Because that speed that Stephon Diggs supposedly lost, Christian Kirk still has.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning Christian Kirk's speed. I'm not questioning losing his
Isaiah.
I mean, after 2 lower body injuries, I don't know. He wasn't really
the guy that I saw play.
Okay.
Shit.
Christian Kirk?
Now
he's like he ran like a 4.57. He's slow.
No, he did not.
Christian Kirk?
He did not.
So did Antonio Brown.
No, but hey, you got the computer in front of you. I'm sitting up here. I'm streaming directly from a deck right now. I can't look it up, but Christian Kirk at A&M
4.46, I guess. Unofficial.
Yeah, you are
unofficial.
You're off a tenth of a second every time.
That is a pro day. That is not unless that's
a hand timer.
Let me
right?
see. Is that a hold on? Let me see if that was pro day or if that was combine unofficial.
He's not a 4.5 guy.
He's a 4.5.
I know he's not a 4.5 guy.
He ain't a 4.4 guy now. I tell you that much. He's a 4.5 guy now. After watching him play for 3 years in Jacksonville, he's not a 4.4 guy anymore.
So we can move on to the third.
Maybe he was worried that Trevor wasn't going to be able to hit him with a football. Slow down.
The quarterback everyone says overthrows everybody. Yeah, let me run slower because he overthrows me. That makes sense. Come on, Mike. If you're gonna make fun of him the right way. Come on now.
All right, let's slide to the third round. Titans don't have a pick, so that's where I said trading back and picking up the edge and the wide receiver would be good. But if you can't, in this game we can't. So we got our receiver. Say we got Burden falls. Third round, Jaguars. You got your offensive line. You got your running back. What are you looking for?
Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor.
Tight end.
If Mason Taylor's available, that's
I am looking at. I just pulled up a mock draft. This one has Elijah Arroyo from Miami. How do you feel about him?
Fuck Elijah Arroyo.
I like Elijah Arroyo.
I do too. I like Elijah Arroyo. Athletic tight end, man. You need.
Terrence Ferguson from Oregon.
Mason Taylor is an inch taller, 6 pounds heavier, and faster.
What about Terrence Ferguson from Oregon?
I wouldn't be mad at the pick. I don't think he falls that far though.
I think he's like into the second for sure.
I think he's like mid to end of second.
But I mean, I feel like once you get, I was Diggs so good with the Bills. I love CJ. Let me try to pull this up.
Either Darian Porter or Mason Taylor. There,
I think they will continue to do great things with them. Go Bills.
Darian Porter is 6'4", 200 pounds, ran a 4.3. Corner out of Iowa State. Or sorry, is it Indiana State? Hold on. Iowa State. Yeah. Sorry.
You see a lot of mixed rankings. I mean, everybody has Warren and Loveland, 1 and 2 for tight ends. And then it's mixed. You see Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo, I've seen Fannin ranked at third.
I want Mason Taylor. I mean, I'm an SEC guy. I watch Mason Taylor. One thing I like about Mason Taylor that is not as prevalent in young tight ends, because one thing too, Arroyo's already 22. Mason Taylor, he will be 20. He'll be 21 at the start of the season. NFL. He's about to turn 21. He's a little bit younger. He's a little bit more athletic. He's a little bigger and
good genetics.
One thing I like about him, he knows how to find space. He is not a tight end that finds an area, sits down, and like, oh, this is the end of my route. What do I do? If he is not open, he immediately looks for an open area. He makes adjustments on the football. Now, do I think Elijah Arroyo will be a bad pick? Absolutely not. I will be happy with Elijah Arroyo. I think he's athletic. I think he's a solid blocker. I don't think he's a bad player. I just, I think he's like I don't like Miami or whatever, but he's good though. But I think Mason Taylor has a bigger upside in my opinion due to the bigger frame. He's faster. I think he was the number 1 tight end at the combine in bench reps at 28. He's a strong dude. Yeah, I mean, why are we even talking about? I still believe in.
Do people not believe in Stroud?
Anybody not?
I mean, obviously he had a down year, but it wasn't like he was Anthony Richardson.
I like giving.
Well, no, but that's the thing. That man's down year was still over 3,000 yards. So I'm like, yeah.
All right. So Mike, you got your offensive lineman. You got one of those receivers right there. Just what are we doing in the? You got 2 third rounds, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So
one of those third round picks is going to be a goddamn defensive tackle. And I like that big bastard from Kentucky. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, Deion Walker?
Yes. If he's available, I can see D'Amico Ryan sprinting himself to the podium.
Yeah. You can also see someone like Joshua Farmer from Florida State.
Oh, we have 2 as well. I forgot about that.
I was looking through it.
I didn't see defensive tackle's coming. It's going to come.
We have 70.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Y'all pick right next to the Texans. Okay. So you go defensive tackle, and then actually it would be Isaiah next. What we want that second, third round pick.
So at 88, if he's there's 2 guys I'm looking at. I'm looking at Danny Stutzman at Oklahoma, linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're still a little uncertain. We did not pick up Devin Lloyd's 5th-year option, so he's gone after this season, or we re-sign him. He's basically got to prove himself. I like Ventrell Miller a lot. I do like him. He's 26 years old going into his 3rd season in the NFL. I don't like that. He may be 27. I think we drafted him. He was 24, 25. He was a 5th-year senior kind of guy. I don't know. I think I like that there. I think Danny Stutzman or I want to go with my boy Darius Alexander out of Toledo.
Okay.
Darius Alexander out of Toledo, 310 pounds, 6'4", 4'9", relatively athletic guy. He's strong. But I think if I'm leaning one way or the other, I think I'm going Stutzman. I think that moving what's his name? Eric Armstead back inside rather than playing him at edge 60% of snaps, which is stupid. I think that moving him back, or 60% of his snaps, not 60% of overall snaps, but I think playing him at edge was stupid. I think moving him back inside, having Devon Hamilton, Mason Smith, and then Jordan Jefferson, those guys, I think that gives us a good enough interior D line to not for it to be a pressing need. Still a need, but not a pressing need. I think by the end of the year this year, they're going to be moving on from Devon Hamilton. Like at the end of the season, they're going to know moving on from Devon Hamilton, moving on from Eric Armstead. And I think Mason Smith and potentially Jordan Jefferson, but they may draft somebody. But I think I'm going with Danny Stutzman here.
Do you feel like they need a receiver at this point? A Besh could go right here.
I do, but I feel like this class is deeper at receiver. I feel like this class is deeper at receiver than people like to talk about. So I'm not picking one here. We have 2 4th-round picks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, so your second, fourth, what we doing? What kind of position we looking for right here, Mike?
The thing is, I'm 2 different ways with this. One is that Arroyo kid, if he slides there, I could see us taking the tight end.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking that.
And we'll call up someone saying, hey, we'll give you Dalton Schultz for a 4th.
That's one thing. 4th at this point?
Yeah.
I think he is. He's still solid.
Yeah, he's still
So
solid.
so if you can get off of Schultz, you would want to get a tight end right here.
Or
Harold Fannin.
Harold Fannin is high on my list too, but my other option, it's gonna sound crazy. Our offensive line was bad. I'm double dipping on.
No, nothing wrong with that. You go get like a Tate Ratledge at this point.
Oh,
Emory Jones from LSU.
He froze.
But we believe you, Mike.
Yeah. Whatever you say, Mike. Speak your truth.
Offensive line. So remove him for a second. So we're gonna go into the fourth. I think this is a good stopping point. Like I said, the fifth or the seventh, kind of like where you take stuff on.
See, back yet? Oh, nope.
Nope. He's still frozen. He ain't moving down there or anything. There he is. There's the guy. So we're thinking either double dipping offensive line or tight end right there.
Yeah, Tate Ratledge is one of them that I really, really like. That man is super goddamn athletic, and I don't know what it is about these mustaches nowadays because he got one of them too with a mullet.
That's hilarious.
But the fact of it is, the man, I think he allowed 1 sack in like 3 years, which is crazy from an offensive guard. Who all this stuff, and I'm not mistaken, his athletic score is one of the highest the draft have seen at that position in 7-8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing against, SEC schools, big dudes. He's tested. He's not untested for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I say if they do decide the Texans go with a tackle in the first round as opposed to the guy I really want, and that's even if he's available, I really would like Tate Ratledge.
Okay, so our final round we're going to go over the fourth. We have 2 fourths. Jags. Do the Texans have 2 fourths or just one?
We have no force.
Oh, so you're done. That's your draft right there. That's your.
We're done.
Oh, so we both have 2. Okay, I believe we had the first pick of the fourth. I kind of mentioned earlier Jack Sawyer. At this point you got to get an edge. Jack Sawyer. Either of those Ohio State guys, but I think Sawyer's more likely to fall just based on the athletic traits for him. But there's a lot of guys that could fall at that point. Jordan Birch, the dude from hold on, I was just looking at the edges. Sorry. Syracuse, I think is where he's from. There's but yeah, one of those edges you're hoping falls. Fadil Diggs from Syracuse. That's what I was talking about. But there's a guy from Central Arkansas as well. But so just need an edge, and then at that point, I think you need a double dip on those positions, but you can do it right then, or you can wait. So in our second, 4th round pick, I'm cool. I would love to get a Scatabo. I know we got Pollard and Spears, but Scatabo would bring a different style of running than both of those guys.
You think he's available in the 4th?
I don't know, man. I think once you get past those top 4 running backs, it's a deep class. But Scatabo, Ollie Gordon, even I think that'd be a little early for an Ollie Gordon. But they brought Scatabo in for a 30 visit though, so there's interest there at the very least. But Harold Fannin, I've mentioned him. That'd be a dream for me. Get another weapon. I think Harold Fannin and Cam Moore could be like best friends on the football field.
Yeah,
just the way. And Fannin's a good blocker too. I think he's like the number 2 rated blocker for tight ends coming out, but he's also athletic, and look at the numbers he put up. I know it's Bowling Green, but still, that's a lot of catches and stuff like that. So, Dante Thornton,
good hands, good feet.
Once you get the edge, I think tight end, running back, linebacker, and double ditching on the edge and receiver, and then whatever order you feel like, get best player available at those positions as you go down. But I feel like you have to fill those 3 holes, and then you can do best player available, but hitting needs at the same time. The need doesn't have to outweigh the best player once you get a receiver and an edge. Get some depth for the offensive line. Like I feel like we look good on paper, at least for this year, way better than we have in the last 4 years with Dillard and Daly and NPF. But those are my top 3, and then round 4, start figuring out best players. You trust your scouting at that point. So when you hit the round 4, what are we looking at, Isaiah? If you've gotten all the positions that you've talked about so far,
NFL Draft Buzz, that's what I'm using for my rankings right now. So take that as you may. Jared Wilson out of Georgia, center. If he's available, I think he goes 3rd round. I don't think he goes this late, but They have him ranked at 101, which would be a 4th round pick early.
Yeah.
I would take him there. 100%. I think you sit him behind the dude we just brought in, Hainsey, for a year or two.
Jags need a third or fourth edge rusher in the worst way.
Yep, and I'm about to address that here in a second. And then
I think
it's kind of a reach for me, but I like the kid out of LSU. Savion Jones.
Yeah, Savion Jones. Yeah.
I like Savion Jones, 6'6", 280, 4.74. I think he's a beast. I think how many he only.
See, I thought y'all had
official. What's up?
What have y'all seen Princely going?
I've seen Princely going second round.
Second round, yeah. So if you go to the third, that'd be a really good
early third. He's around in the third round, he's gone in those first 10 picks.
He's a steal. Those late, Kyle Kennard, Tyler Barron. That's what that David Walker from Central Arkansas. That's who I was talking about.
Let me see. That doesn't look right. Hold on one second. I need to check something.
I saw someone like they wouldn't be surprised in the first 90 picks or 96. I mean, his first 3 rounds were right around 100. That if 20 edge rushers came off the board.
Never mind. Savion Jones is not my pick anymore. He only did 19. He only did 19 bench reps. You can't be that big and only do 19 reps at 225. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just back that. I'm gonna just back that right up.
That changed my mind.
You only allowed 19 bench reps if you're fast.
Fast. You gotta be like, I want to be impressed with 19 reps. If I see 19 reps, I don't want to be like, what the fuck were you doing? Like you're telling me Mason Taylor, 6'5", 251 pounds, tight end, did 28. You did 19.
Bro, that's Jason Taylor's son.
I think Jay Cutler did 28.
I get that, but this dude's 6'6", 280. Yeah, Jay Cutler. All right, that dude was out there eating glizzies at halftime and during the game and
smoking cigs,
and
fighting cornhole in the locker room.
I think I'm gonna change that up real quick. I'm gonna go for. He only did 20. Fuck it. I'm gonna just take the other guy. He's big. I'm gonna just go with Savion Jones. He's big. We can put him in the weight room. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, get his muscles.
We can beat.
The only other dude I wanted did 20, and he's smaller. Fuck it. Let's just take the bigger guy. They ran the same 40. Whatever.
Who's that?
Well,
hold on. I'll give me 1 second to say this in my head real quick. Oluwafemi Oladejo, the dude out of UCLA.
That was good. You did. That was dead.
Yeah, it was not bad. Yeah.
I like him. It helps when
he's on moonshine.
It helps when you have yes, sir. It helps when you have Foyesade Aluakon and Folorunso Fatakasi on your team right before.
Dude.
And then Yannick Ngakoue. It helps. You like
yes.
It helped me at my job because I work in a call center. I was taking phone calls and people are like, "Oh yeah, you say it this way," and I say it back to them. They're like, "Whoa, how'd you get that?" It's like I watch a lot of NFL football and unhealthy out. Like I can pronounce all the names.
Did you say all this guy? Is that who you said?
It's a good time, but no. So yeah, I'd rather just take the guy who's 3 inches taller and 80 or 30 pounds bigger at that point if they're going to do 1 rep difference.
We'll figure it out. That's all we gotta say.
All right. Well, that seems like a good stopping point. I'm not sure if we'll lead up to the C of Curtis's pod next week to see if we're going to be back on before the draft. I think y'all will be doing something together, like Curtis and y'all will draft on Thursday. Like I said, me and Titans Table for Two will be live Thursday somewhere downtown Nashville. We'll get all that information out next week. But maybe we might have a few new players on our team next time we talk, boys.
Yes, sir.
So on that note, we got Isaiah, Third and Teal. Make sure you go check it out. Got all things Jaguars over for you. And we got Mike down there with the Real Texas Team podcast, hanging out with Curtis for some reason. And I'm over at Titans Table for Two, brother. Check us out, all things Titans. And on that note,
proud of you guys.
Fuck the Colts.
Yeah, fuck the Colts.
Dang.
Never the Colts.
Never the Colts. I hope they take Tyler Warren, and I hope that Justin cries about it.
And he tears his ACL.